All right, I think I'm good here. What's up, Season? Good morning. Good to see you. Good morning. Good morning. As posted the other night, everything's still kind of set in stone. The only difference is that we're not above previous day close anymore. We're actually below it, as well as 644.40s, which could have been seen as a short-term break for downside. This could be seen as a liquidity grab before the market opens, though, just because this is all just pre-market information. So if we get any kind of early warning pops over 644.40s, that will most likely lead us to previous day close in 646.20, maybe even the previous day high, 30 cents higher. Anything under 644.40s, though, is higher probability going to head towards that highlighted area below if we reject that 644.40s again. So that's a pretty important key level in the morning, in my opinion, this level right here, because this is really going to decide short-term direction. So I really see this as building up energy before the markets open. If it closes over this is going to have a really good, easy move up into 646.20s, in my opinion. So that's pretty important. Any rejection of this, or maybe we get like a pop and a drop, that could be like the exact same situation where it's like it's building up energy to create a bigger move. So we'll probably see a bigger move to the downside if that's the case. But that's the game plan. I don't know what the hell I was about to say. That's the game plan as of right now for SPY. There's a lot more notes in the levels channel if you guys haven't already checked it out. I also posted IWM. If you're in the premium trade floor, I posted a couple other tickers as well. And I'll pull up the SPY chain. I have it on my other screen already. Where the hell is it? There it is. So I have the SPY chain up, ready to go. Does anybody in here remember the gamma range that we like a lot for our scalp contracts? Good morning, King Carnage. Good morning, Alexis. Good morning, Dr. J. Good to see all you guys. Thanks for joining in so soon. Market opens in about a minute. Also, guys, we posted the news this week in the daily updates channel, so I hope you guys go check that out. The big thing this week is going to be PCE, but that's on a Friday. And you guys want to hear something even funnier? The next week, Monday, there's Labor Day, right? So that means Friday's funds won't settle. So we have the most important news of the week on Friday, and your money won't settle if you trade that day. That's fucked up. So in my opinion, I will definitely be avoiding Friday. I think most people in my chat will, just off of their instincts. But yeah, pretty important news on a Friday, but it's kind of funny because your funds won't settle from that day until Tuesday of the next week. For most brokerages, I don't want to sit here and be like, that's everybody. That's just most brokerages. But yeah, pretty cool. Y'all can hear me on the stream, right? That'd be really embarrassing. But yeah, so that's the game plan for SPY this morning. If anybody needs me to repeat it, I can go over it again. But market's open, so I just wanted to make sure I got all that out really quick. All right, thank you, Season. I was just making sure. I know not everybody can retype back super quick, but I was just, for a second, I was like, wait a minute. Meta's breaking out early. That's what I want to see on SPY. If SPY's trying to go up, I want to see a green candle at the beginning. We got a retake of the 644.40s, and that could be a really good liquidity grab move from here in pre-market. So we'll see if we get that or not. But if not, then probably getting the exact opposite. Rejection of that area or weakness around that area is not a good sign. And that could lead back towards the highlighted area. So, which I don't think it's too crazy to think some of this can be pulled back due to the movement last week on Friday. But if it was to also keep ripping, I don't think I would be, freaking out either. So I really do think either side is on the plate today compared to last week where it felt like every day was just potentially going to go up. And the week before, honestly, when we were streaming pretty much every day, it literally felt like every day was just going to go up. But this feels like a day where the downside actually has somewhat of a idea in front of it. So see if we get that or not. But right now we are seeing weakness under 644.40s. Which does give a short-term direction towards this area, but in reality, this is the most important area of the chart, just to be honest with everybody here. This is the most important area. I'm sitting here and explaining like, oh, well, if it rejects this level, it can make it down to this area. Yes, that's possible, but it's also possible that if we pop this, it's just going to keep holding its bullish trend. So as of this area, it's still bullish. So it has room to play with and dip. That's why I mentioned those short-term scalps to here, if that's something you're trying to do. But if not, then it's probably best you just wait for a bullish trend play to pop up. And that's honestly something a lot of you can do when you start to get into these moments where it's like you don't really know what to do, but the market is moving. It's just you really just got to discover what is the trend, and then let me wait until something that goes with that trend, something that's advantageous. If the trend's going up and you're over here buying inverted hammers to the downside, it's like, okay, well, that's your problem. But actually buying a spot of the chart like down here where it's advantageous to be ready for an upside play, or as it's popping this, making it into the whatever there is. That's just today's scenario. Every day will look a little bit different. Good morning, guys. Make sure to drop a like on the stream and share it around. If you guys have any comments or questions, feel free to throw them out. Also, shout out to you, Dr. J, on that cheat sheet, dude. That was actually like, I don't know what it was. I think I was drinking one night, and I randomly went to my Discord on accident, and I clicked it. And I was like, what the hell? And I opened it, and your DM had popped up on my screen. It was probably the last thing I had opened on Discord. And I was just staring at it while I was drunk, and I was like, dude, this thing is like kind of cheating. I couldn't stop staring at it. You'd think if you were drinking, you'd go and, like, have fun. But no, I was sitting there, like, reading your cheat sheet. That cheat sheet's a little OP. That's the kind of thing that me and Leland used to talk about, though. It'd be like, if we saw something, we didn't know what to name it, what to label it, or anything like that. We didn't watch other traders. We still, to this day, really don't. It's just not our thing. Like, we want to do our own thing and figure it out on ourselves, And that's a really big thing right there. Is what you sent is like back testing numbers, like actual data, and being able to back test certain theories, right? Because that is a lot of what our strategy is theoretical trading. So it's using price action, it's using all these basic things, but in reality, you technically are using theoretical trading for a strategy. It's a if this then that. And we know to do if this then that because we understand that in this situation, bulls are higher probability or bears are higher probability. Like, we already understand that based on the data that we've seen. We know what's more bullish than bearish. Also, not just that, but understanding where in the chart to take advantage of that information, right? If I said bullish trend is still intact and you just randomly started buying whatever candle, it's not really that helpful. Maybe you still are making a correct trade. That's awesome. But not buying like an actual signal or something that says, "Hey, I'm trying to go up from here, buy me," then there's not really any point in like guessing. I'm not trying to guess trade. But that cheat sheet is super OP. So thank you for getting all that together and sharing that. And thank you for letting me repost that too. That was really cool. I only posted it in Discord though. I don't think I want to share that with the rest of the world. Anybody who's in Discord can peep that, but I don't think I'm going to share it any further than that because it really is kind of powerful. Really easy to just check really quickly too, because maybe you're looking at like a weird setup, like, well, we're under previous day close and previous day highs, but we're like in this scenario actually, like we're below two really good levels that could be seen as resistance, but we're on the back end of a day that just shot the fuck up, So we still have this momentum moving forward, but it's like, all right, where can that momentum be lost, and where does probability say it should go if lost from there? And that's a lot. That's literally what we have in front of us is, well, if we lose this level, we should go to here. If we hold this, we'll probably bounce back up and hit this again, or at least pre-market low or today's open, Which, by the way, we are below today's open again. Any loss of pre-market low, and I would definitely be looking at I'm looking at the wrong side of the chain, dear God. At the, what number is that? 642 puts? Yeah, that looks good. Under pre-market low, 642 Ps look good. If we get a pop over 644.40s and a higher low that holds, I'll probably have to go with, as of right now, 646 strike looks like the move for calls. But it looks like 647 will be the move in a minute once the numbers start moving. Because we won't be the same price on those contracts right here as we will if we're above that level holding as a higher low. It'll probably be 647. How's everyone's weekend? I've just been ranting, trying to get all this information out before the market really gets moving so we can all have it in our heads beforehand. And that's another big thing, too, that I think our system requires of you, is not to be thinking about, could've, should've, would've bullshit situations where it's like things you weren't really in control of, And I know you know what I mean, because there's a few trades where you take it and it's like you're just in flow state. Everything makes sense. Everything you're going for makes sense. Everything's going right. And maybe it goes wrong at the very end, but at least you understand, like, okay, I'm cutting it here. I understand that's why it's going wrong. Being decisive, that's a really good feeling. Doing something and knowing why you're doing it. Do we need to peep any more charts in the pre-market, or in the beginning of the morning here before the market starts moving, or do you guys just want to chill and spy for a second? You couldn't use PML as the data. I have more aftermarket, is much more limited. No, yeah, I'm glad you didn't do that, to be honest, because there's not much volume in pre-market anyway. That's why I put a lot of emphasis on like today's open, previous day midpoint, because I really do believe those two are not just levels that are set every single day, but they're levels that are heavily traded around every single day, for the most part. So I think that's why we should really be going off of those, or like your previous day high, your previous day low, because these are levels that are set. They were part of the standard session. Whereas that pre-market session, it is going to have a substantially lower amount of volume and impact, maybe. So I agree. Yo, what's up, Carter? Good to see you, bro. And if you guys are posting anything in the Discord, let me know. I'll go peep it. I'm just sitting here charting. What's up, Matty Ice? Good to see you. I do have IWM charted. I actually have a couple things charted. What am I talking about? I don't know why I'm disrespecting AMD still. We should move AMD up here. It's been moving a lot. See, this is what I expect SPY to do if it doesn't hold its midpoint. But it's still got a lot of room above its midpoint. What's up? Oh, maybe I should repost SPX. Man, sometimes when I click my screenshot keybinds, it like doesn't work. It kind of freaks me out. I'm going back to SPY. Do you guys want me to look at anything or any other charts or just check out something out you posted? Just let me know. I am checking the Discord as well. Out and about just listening to your sweet voice through the AirPods. You're too kind. I keep sniffling, sorry. I don't know. I have a few people in chat who say that though, and it really is like I can't tell if y'all are just being nice or not. Because when I go back and listen, I can't stand listening to my voice. But maybe that's just the whole it's my own voice kind of thing. But I swear half of you are full of shit. But who knows? Maybe I'm full of shit. Still just some indecisive trading here. It definitely is a good sign to follow up that theory that we thought this morning that this could be seen as a liquidity grab going up again. Due to the pre-market loss, we lost 644.40s in pre-market. Could be retaking it here in the first 20 minutes of today's open. Again, guys, it has only been 11 minutes. I always like to remind people in here of that, but also myself, because it could be easy to be like, oh my god, there's already been so many 5-minute candles, dude. What am I doing? I should be trading. It's like, dude, you have plenty of time. You guys should try to create a challenge too where you only do one trade in the morning session and one trade maybe in like the lunch session. Or trade that second trade for one trade in power the last session, the last part of the day. That could be your little challenge. Try to take one trade per session. When you split it up into the 3 phases like we do. Open to about 10:30ish. Which it's weird. I have like a weird thing on it. Like it's really open to like 11, but open to like 10:30. Those first 2 hours is like the first session of the day in my opinion. And then between like 10:30 to 11 is like super dead. I don't really have a name for it. And then between 11 to about 1, I consider that lunch session. 12 to 1 or 11 to 1, 2 hours. So 2 hours dead space, 2 hours, and then the last 2 hours of the day, 1 to 3. So add 1 hour to that if you're in Eastern Standard Time Zone. But that's generally what the 3 phases of the day look like to me. And you'll see it too. It's funny because like I think the thing that really motivated me to even understand what the hell that is when I was looking at it like that was Leland. Believe it or not, when he'd have these days where I would wake up and stream and post videos and like I'd grind, and then he would like sleep in a little bit and he'd be like not too late. It'd be like an hour or two later. And he would always like on cue just like take a really nice looking buy the dip type setup because maybe that early morning we dipped and caught a level and then bounced back up. Or going down, maybe it's under the halfway point or under a lower high of the today's open. Maybe we dropped and then bounced back up, and the next thing you know, during lunchtime, we're just in that part of the day where it's 0% on SPY, but it's obviously still rejecting. So it looks like it's about to give you a really good setup. And it really felt like there was a lot of good active trading in one part of the day and another. And everyone already knows about, power hour and stuff. So I expanded on that and made sure the times were a little bit wider. And then upon further review, it looked like there were other strategies that are in the market that already exist that are similar to that kind of thinking. So I was like, holy shit, this is actually something. So that was pretty fun. But the 3 phases of the day is a pretty real thing. I don't really know what to call it, so I just keep calling it a real thing. But that could be a good challenge for anybody in here who's really trying to like push themselves to grow. You could really push yourself to not just understand those 3 phases of the day and what times they arrive and close, but try to take one trade per session. Or none. You should really be taking one or none. Maybe the first part of the day was really shit, Second part of the day was man, and third part of the day is wow. There's a bunch of stuff that's happening. You know, you'll push yourself to possibly trade the best part of the day every day. Of course, you won't be perfect. Nothing's 100%. Still, we're seeing rejection of 644.40, but no loss of any lows yet. We are losing today's open on this candle, but I'm kind of just eyeballing it like this right now because, yes, this is the open, but it's really like this whole candle and everything right here. This is where we see control outside of where we're looking. So if we're looking above this, awesome, but we don't see anything holding yet. This could be the downside move people are looking for. Or the beginning of it, at least. This is bearish under this, but any pops over this, and it's looking really, really good into this level. So just keep that in mind. So if you are going to take any shorts, just understand that this is a pretty good risk spot. Or even just the price action under it, if you want to keep it even shorter. Keep it even smaller. But it's only been 16 minutes. No need to freak out yet. Took the girls to Arcadia National Park in Maine over the weekend. Beautiful coastline, scenery, and summer hiking too. Worth the drive. Damn. Sounds like you had a whole weekend then. Nice. Damn, Alexa sounds like a pretty chill dad. Man, whatever you do though, now that you've actually been to Arcadia, do not watch the dog shit Arcadia movie. I wonder if that's exactly where that's at in that movie. Dude, my stomach just tried talking to me. Reminder, we do like 642 puts if you are taking any short setups here. We're looking at 646, 647 calls if any long setups appeared. Which right now, the short setup's not looking too bad. You are holding under that entire area right now, but only 17 minutes in the day. We'll see here in a couple more minutes what we get. But it is definitely giving off that I want to retest away from this level right now. We'll see if anything changes here in the next 5-10 minutes. IWM is giving off that beautiful short setup. Jesus. SPX still struggling with that level too. We'll see if anything changes. This is looking short setup looking though. Poor AMD. Not really. Apple, huge bounce. Is anybody in here watching anything in specific, or are you all just kind of watching me? I know most of you are probably just like busy and I'm up on one screen, but what is anybody watching anything outside of that? Anything outside of what I'm doing? You're watching Energy? Nice, nice. Ah. I think I see why. What are the... Okay. I was going to say, the only two I ever remember in here, besides like the smaller weights, are these two. XOM and CVX, but that makes sense. Damn, XOM had a really clean setup beforehand. I mean, I know I'm after looking at this, but this little curl, man, that is beautiful. That rounding bottom look. This too, just straight up higher lows the whole time. No fear in trend since way back here. Looking good, looking good. I actually was looking at Tesla and then Coin. And of course, those have some pretty crazy days last Friday. Just because they have some nice basing to them. And even if there is more short setups that follow, it's like, okay, but I know it has the consolidation, so I should get some really good moves from this. Regardless of direction. I like looking for those plays the most because you can always count that you're at least going to get one good move on your chart. So you can at least sit there and be like, all right, well, at least I had something in front of me, you know? Thanks for the likes in the stream, guys. Make sure to like the stream and share it around if you can. Good morning, Ayala. Good to see you. My bad. I'm switching between the channels reading. Open just because it's been memeing. Intel because government wants 10%, which is crazy. Yeah, that one. Intel is going to need to be on everyone's watch, but let me check out the other one you said. Open. Oh, this is Open Door, yeah. The ticker always throws me off, I won't lie. I'm like, wait, what is it? It like makes it feel like it's some new thing I've never seen. Okay, that thing is moving. Just because it's been memeing, that's pretty funny. It's been memeing pretty hard. I mean, that's crazy. Like, literally less than 3 months ago, it was about 50 cents. I mean, that's just insane. Imagine you just bought like 1,000 shares at 0.51, and then you're like, I'm not selling till it hits 5. You'd be up a little bit. That'd be a hell of a percentage too. And yeah, if you guys have any comments or questions or anything you want to share or something you posted in the Discord, feel free to share it here in the stream as well, just to make sure I see it. Right now, we're looking to see if a short setup follows through or not. Under the 644.40s, under pre-market low, under today's open. As of right here, right now, as I am breathing and speaking to you, we are wicking 3 times in a row holding the today's open. So, I'm really just going to sum this up. There's a lot of indecision in the market open. And why do we know that, chat? Because there's a lot of long legs on both sides of a lot of these candles. Very small bodies on some of these candles. I mean, it's not looking decisive for anybody right now. Trend is still intact for upside as long as we're above or below this area. So if we're below this, higher probability says we probably would be going down. Higher probability if we're above it says we probably should be going up. So a lot of room underneath, but just kind of also keeping in mind that if we do see a loss of this, there is that chance we see that dip down to that area. So just kind of keeping that in the back of our head too. As of right now, we see this as a liquidity grab, like we've been saying all morning. A loss of this area and then a retake of 644.40s could lead to a very strong bullish move into the highs, maybe even make a new high. Who knows? A rejection of here, definitely not a good sign short term, and then a fallout of pre-market low could definitely give us that scalp trade towards that area, possibly. Who knows? Maybe that's where they give us a liquidity grab and I'm about to fuck you guys. But who knows? If you guys have anything else to add on to that or anything, whatever, feel free to. Yeah, Sand Dollar, Frankie's been on that. Open and Oklo. Those are a couple I definitely remember just because of him. Like the fact that they've been moving. But Oklo especially. Every time I read it, my brain wants to be like, Okra. But that's like way off. Yeah, Frankie's been on top of a couple tickers like that just maybe aren't like the most popular in like our chat, but he definitely posts tickers that get a lot of good moves on them. There's been a bunch of good posts in the chat actually. I haven't really had to like edit anybody's posts recently. Like be like, hey man, this is kind of fucked up what you typed here. Like, no, there's just a lot of really clean posts recently. And I encourage you guys to post your own if you want. But if you're at the stage where you're just kind of chilling, watching, I get it. Definitely not hating. I can't stop yawning. I'm not even tired, I swear. I actually feel super rested. How did everyone sleep the other night? I had a great sleep. Oh, my bad. I'll zoom in. Actually, let's just do this because I want to see everything from previous day. But I don't need to see all this. There we go. A little cleaner looking. Maybe fix the time axis a little bit, yeah. Actually, screw the time axis. Let's mess it all up. Why doesn't it let me... Oh, you know what? Let's do this. Ah, there we go. Then squeeze that previous day info in there. I really like using that context. I feel like if you're just zoomed in like this, like it feels like, I don't know, it feels like you have your like eyes in the windshield while you're driving, you know? Whereas like right here, it's like, oh, okay, I'm backed up, I'm in my chair, I can actually see the road for what's in front of me. You know, I'm not like so close up that like there's things that are not in my sight, you know? I'm not obscuring my own vision. That's what it feels like. Man, ever since I did that little highlighted box, I didn't really mean it to be like the whole candle, but it's just holding it. Refuses to leave this area. It really is adding into what I said this morning, though. It really just feels like we're building up something for a better move after the open, not right at the open, which I heavily prefer. I think it's great that it shakes out all the idiots first. Creates liquidity for people who are patient enough to take a better move. And it might even lead to a better move just off of that liquidity. Not even because of any reasoning in the market. That's another big problem, too. Every time there's a move, everyone's like, why did it do that? Why did it do this? It's like, dude, you're following. Don't be a follower in the market. You got to be a leader. Don't sit there and trade off of late news that you're getting on the feed late. Are we going to finally get that move back up? Or are we going to get a loss of that, I guess, the low of the first candle? The meat of that close? I'm kind of, it's also freaking me out because it's like right there where that higher low is. I did mention that in my post too, just because that higher low is pretty profound. Let's go check on Apple just because that bounce was kind of massive earlier. Oh. All right, well, they hit previous day high. NVIDIA is bouncing, so this could be good early signs for buyers. AMD hit a dip into the low of previous day, catching a bid. A little dip and rip for Microsoft. They're back to today's open. I wouldn't really say it's a huge rip. Not like Apple. Things are curling up. Oh, some things. Burke B looking like it wants to keep falling off a cliff. Dig down to China. Tesla, nice bid too. They got a hammer. They're versing back up. They're hitting today's open. They're over today's open. Could be starting to curl up in the market. And we are getting that pop. We could be looking at the 646 and 647 strikes. Right now, the 646 is at 35. 647 is at 20. 16. Could just jump in the 645s if you're risking it early, but I would just wait to get that candle close confirmation for 645 just because those are a little bit pricier. Yes, they'll move better, but they also cost more. And that's really what you're paying for a better moving contract. It's just more money. For a way better moving contractor, it's double the cost, basically. 646 is under 30. The 645 is under 60. So that's about right. And then the one under that's about half that. 26 to about 12 or 13-ish. Yeah, that's about half. It's kind of funny how that drops off. I never noticed that. It's probably just with how the math is today, though. And yeah, that's why you wait for that candle close. Imagine you were part of that and you were in calls. That would suck. Especially with that 645 strike, which I'm sure a lot of us are looking at because it isn't that costly. And it looks like it is going to get some good movement if we do get that upside movement. And just for curious sake, because I am a little curious here, what did the gap look like? Because you got the close of previous day and you have the open way down here. So there is a little bit of a... Okay, so there is a level there. 646, 644, 65. Alright, so it looks like we're almost spot on with where control needs to be. But look where the top of that wick went. I just had to know because I thought that'd be close. But that's kind of funny looking. I'm keeping the contracts up on my other screen. See if we get any movement. No entry yet. I was liking longs a lot more than shorts from the open, but the more that we sit here, the more we struggle and create this weakness, the more that it might actually lead into that other scenario where we do take a dip down towards that highlighted area below. Between 641.30 and 641.88. But who knows? We don't have any confirmations yet. We're just kind of bumping our head against the top of where we could actually be moving back up. It just tapped the overnight 50. See, I'm reading y'all's comments late. I just saw that now. I was looking at the contracts. I need to just put y'all both on the screen. Yeah, good job. Huge shout out to Garden Trader and Carter, Prop Street. Very, 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 very good mentions. Because I didn't even draw it in some scenarios. Because, I mean, you don't need to draw it every time there's a gap. But it's just kind of fun to know where is it if there is one. Because it can literally be as powerful as a previous day midpoint. Because right now, if you think about it, we're above one. We're below the other open halfway point. So we're below one, we're at one, and we're above another. It's like we're in the most indecisive part between those three levels right now. So I think it's really easy to say that this chart's trying to churn out liquidity, trying to crunch people out right now in the morning. I think that's very obvious. The very first candle of the day is indecisive, which is a very good sign towards that normally on the 5-minute time frame. When you have legs, small body candle. Then you have a hammer holding it as support. So it looks like, oh, we're going to go up, but we're bumping our head still. Then you wick perfectly into that 0.5 with this candle that we're trading in right now. So there's a lot of back and forth that's already happened in the first 34 minutes of the day. Let me know if you guys agree, if you guys disagree, if I'm just feeling this out. That's just what it feels like right now. Just feels indecisive, and they're crunching out a lot of liquidity. Where's my... Here it is. I'm actually really impressed with you, Carter and Garden, because I really didn't read those till after I looked at that. I'm really impressed y'all are already like on top of that, thinking like, all right, this could be in the way. I think it's also super easy to see when you have extended hours turned off. I don't know why more people don't turn this off after the open. If I didn't stream, I would always have it off. But I like to initially show the pre-market information for anybody who does care about it. I don't know. I just don't find myself using pre-market high and pre-market low as much unless they're the barrier level, meaning like it's the only thing that's right here. Like in today's scenario, pre-market low might be your best look for short setups. It just happens to be where that high, pretty close where that higher low is. Excuse me. Be sure to drop a like on the stream, guys. Let me know what you're doing or thinking or looking at in the comments or wherever in the chat. And share the stream link around. It helps out a lot. If you guys have anything to share, definitely do. I'm also spamming back and forth between Discord and the YouTube to make sure I don't miss anything. But most people aren't really active in the Discord on a Monday morning anyway. I don't know if I really blame them either. I coughed. I didn't want to cough into the mic, so I muted my mic. Let's check on some of the weights real quick, and then we'll come back and see if SPY. Nvidia's still trending up. AMD's still bouncing. Microsoft's indecisive but still green. Apple looking good still, but it's against the previous day highs. Amazon a little bit under previous day highs. Same for Meta. A lot of those still holding its bounces though. Google, Avgo, Goog, Tesla. There's a lot of really good charts holding up still, so I guess we'll just have to see here in a couple minutes if that's follow through comes with it or what, because we're not seeing anything on SPY as a collective, so there is definitely a fair share of struggle as we can see in the weights. It looks like it should go up, but we're against something that you probably shouldn't trade until we're over, if that makes sense. I'm trying to like dumb it down as much as I possibly can. Not really for y'all. It's more or less for my explanation. Just make it make sense, really. Also, I think it's really good to sit here and like cope instead of like actively trying to trade. I'd rather you sit there and cope and be like, it looks like it's doing this, but it's doing this as well, but we're still under that. Like if you're explaining things to yourself, I think that's a lot better than sitting here and saying, well, I think I'll buy here and I'll sell here if it does this, and like creating a scenario that hasn't even happened yet. The trade hasn't started moving yet, so why would you sit there and like basically freak yourself out? Is what I'm saying to not do. Don't freak yourself out when you're not in a trade. When you're in a trade, it doesn't really matter. Either or is important. Is anybody trading anything, or are you guys just chilling right now? Are you guys looking at any other tickers as well? I know I'm just looking at SPY and I've been spamming through the weights, but if you guys have anything else I could look at, I'm definitely happy to. Chilling? Nice. I really want to go light on a short, and if I'm wrong, I can go heavier on a long. Excuse me, I'm losing it. Damn, coin, what are you doing? This is either going to be a really good short-term buy or a really, or really fucked up short-term buy. Damn, Netflix too. It has that like, oh, I fell off support. Oh, just kidding. Kind of look to it. So this is a powerful looking setup that could actually pop up into a couple areas besides that, but that could be where it's going next. This could be where it's going, and then you have all-time high. That could be an interesting setup to look at towards end of today or maybe end of tomorrow. See if it's still holding up. I know a lot of people in chat are staring at UNH. Every time I turn my head, someone's mentioning it. It's not a bad setup looking now because it has that loss and retake look to it, but it's definitely still really ugly. But this is definitely the best it's looked in a long time. I won't argue that. I would compare it though to like Meta and Netflix's big dips that happened because they had like large downturns that got recovered very well. And they're not going to be perfectly the same, but just to get an understanding of what it could look like. Tesla looking like it wants to hold its highs. If that happens too, I was already posting this last night. It looks like it has room to 350s. So Tesla could still have a really nice green day ahead of it this week. It is still over the highs of previous day as well. We'll see if that holds up. Not a bad one though. I was just about to say, if there's a green candle on Tesla, there's probably a red candle on SPY. I guess I'll leave it like that. Check out Microsoft when you get a chance, fam. I like the basing here on the 30-minute. No problem, bro. Oh, yeah, that is pretty interesting. I like this a lot because it did have that liquidity look to it. Lost, retook, higher low. Lost, retook, higher low. So this could be the higher low of the other two. And then these are just liquidity grabs. Very, very good look. I agree. That's a ticker you want to see looking strong too, just because it's an important weight. No, very good look, Alexis. You'll be watching the 508 levels here. Bet, bet, bet. If anybody's watching Microsoft with Alexis, that's what he's looking at. Pre-market high. Good looks, good looks. Thank you for that, Alexis. That was a good look on that 30-minute. Still seeing struggle under the 644.40, 644.60 area, that highlighted area above. But we also haven't really lost anything either. Like I said, we're just creating a lot of liquidity, crunching it out here in the morning. This could turn into a really good move. I say really good move, I mean a move that actually provides movement. Like not just a dollar. Is the stream better or worse without music? Honest answers only. If you lie, I won't know, but Santa will know. And that's just fucked up. It's better? Fair enough. I mean, I wasn't going to take offense. I don't care either way. I was really just curious from y'all's POV. I'm happy to hear that it's better without, because I've been able to listen to my own music. Maybe that's what we should do. We should just force everyone to listen to their own music. That's the new norm. Music on the stream, you're tripping. Yeah, because I'm alive and blasting in my eardrums. I feel like it makes the time go easier too, because you're not as like super heavy tunnel visioned on what you're doing, you know? You can relax a little. A true immaculate vibe, as the kids say these days. You used to listening on Discord and no music there? Oh yeah, fair enough. I didn't even think about that. That's our new stream rule now. Just play your own music, damn it. Plus, on YouTube, if we were on Twitch, I would play the music for y'all every day, no problem. There would never even be issues, because we could actually listen to like copyright things. But the thing with these streams is there's actually a lot of parts where people like they'll write down a time. I've seen many people do this and then DM me, and then they'll go back on the stream and rewatch that part. And sometimes I clip out a part that they rewatch, and that's fine. It's a lot easier for them. But you can't do that on Twitch with certain things. So, like, if I was to leave up, like, charts and we were trading, like, I don't think I'd leave that as a public stream for someone to go back and watch, you know? But on YouTube, it's like, it's there, you know? It's there as soon as I hit done in stream, it's up. You know, you could go watch it then. On Twitch, it's a little bit finicky, but the music we can't listen to on YouTube. That's the issue. It's not really Twitch's fault, it's YouTube's fault. Because if that was the case, I would have a Spotify playlist or something, and I would make sure that you guys were the ones who made it. Like, you could add a song whenever you want. Excuse me, I can't breathe. Like, you guys could create the playlist. That would be pretty cool. But we can't really do that on YouTube, because YouTube sucks. And it's funny, because you really could do, like, stuff like that on here, but then I would never be able to save, like, the stream. It'd have to be, like, unlisted or deleted. So, like, in the moment, yeah, it'd be fun, but then people who want to watch after can't really review anything. I used to not have to think about things like that, but I have a lot of people who do actually, like, go back or, like, are busy at work right here, right now, and then they'll just go check it at lunchtime or at the end of the day. Or tomorrow. So, can't complain. Hopefully Garden got some sleep this weekend. No music vote. I mean, I didn't see anybody complaining, so I was like, all right, I might as well ask. Is it better without? I was hoping I would say it was better without too, so I could listen to my own. Because I don't really do that a lot. I normally do just listen to whatever the hell I put on for y'all. Dude, I really just want to jump into a short. The 642 strike isn't that bad. Fuck it, I'm doing it. I'm entering at 31. Nope, it's not letting me enter. Oh, that's why. It wicked. Well, it was 34. Now it's 27. And I probably won't go for that strike. 643 is a lot better looking. Way better gamma. If we reject on this candle, I'm entering. That wick stopped me. 643 strike, same day. If I ever say a strike and no date, I'm probably talking about same days because I'm just scalping. These are not like swing trades I'm calling out. So I don't care about theta. I don't care about half of the fucking Greeks. Thank you, you're doing better? Awesome. Good. Because in the moment I was thinking about when you said that, I was like, man, I would be so stressed all the time if that was me. Well, who knows? Garden's built a little different. I'd be pulling my hair out. Running up and down the walls. Dude, what is with YouTube? Do y'all have that bug on YouTube where it like replays the same like song or video like every third song? Like every couple songs the same one will reappear again? I thought they fixed that bug. It's still happening. Or my algo is fucked. I can't really tell anymore. Listening to Mobb Deep. Dollar dollar bills. I gotta check some weights. I'm gonna fall asleep staring at this chart. Tesla. Yeah, Alexis. I'm literally listening to Shook Ones right now. Shook Ones Part 2. Yeah, I like old rap, but the beats are just like way better. Half the shit that comes out these days, I'm like, what the hell is this? It's not even the old head thing. Older rap just sounds better. Excuse me. Whoa, I didn't mean to do that. Yo, there was this comedian I was listening to. I can't remember his name, but he didn't know A Tribe Called Quest, and he was like, I don't know, it blew my mind. I then knew I had lost all hope. Yeah, that's what I said. I was checking out top music from different eras. It's been getting more degen over time. You know, I learned something. I didn't know this was a real stat. You can look this up if you don't believe me, but it says that as a collective, we lose one IQ every year. So it's like we're actually leading towards idiocracy. It's weird. I saw a video and it said that, and I was like, "What?" And I went and Googled it. And I was like, "No way!" It's like a real thing. I don't even know how how do you even get that? Because not everyone takes like an IQ test. I guess they just go off averages. It was freaking me out though. I was like, "What?" So eventually we'll be at zero. How much is that doggy in the window to what? Yeah. I'm sure there's still some good artists out there these days, but I really just don't pay attention anymore. All right, can we get a liquidity grab that goes up or a rejection that goes down? Like at this point, I don't even care which one. Who's with me? I mean, come on. How many good-looking setups are we gonna get on this before it actually like moves? I'm kind of glad it stopped me from entering now that I'm looking at it, but we go up there and reject that again. I'm gonna have to enter a short. Yeah, yeah, this is a chance for bulls short term. They hold this area over open, we're definitely having a chance of popping that highlighted area above, and it can do that. It should definitely make it to previous day close, maybe even a test of previous day highs for all we know. Just gotta be relaxed. Morning, fam. What's up, Ace? Good to see you, dude. Patience. You know it best, man. You know it best. What is up, though, Ace? Good to see you, dog. I swear to God, this is at the 50%. Okay. I was gonna say, we're not trading SPY if that's at 50%. What's up, Ace? How was your weekend, dude?
Any cool Ventura adventures? Anything cool to recommend to the gang? Remember, guys, we are looking at 643 or 642 strikes for downside. If we get our upside conditions, we can look at the 646. Wait, am I reading that wrong? Yeah, 646, 645s. Which 647s might even come into play at that point if the everything starts moving. But we'll see at that point. See if we get this or not. And yeah, guys, don't forget to like the stream and share the stream link around if you haven't already. Good to see you guys in here. If you guys have any questions, comments, or anything you want to share, drop it in here. Or if you have a chart you want to share, throw it in the Discord. I'll go check it out. Or just tell me which one to look at. I can't believe it's already been an hour from the open. Who felt 60 minutes go by? Because I sure as hell didn't. I know we've been watching paint dry, but it did not feel like 60 minutes. Maybe because I've been talking the whole time, but... That's what happens when you have fun and love what you're doing. That's true. I really say that like every stream too. But I really am baffled. Like when I'm sitting here and I'm just chilling, reading comments, and even if nothing's happening like right now, it's just like, I don't know. The time that flies is insane. And a literal hour went by and it really felt like 20 minutes. Maybe even less. Yawn. Yeah. Hey, some of those individual weights got some pretty good movement though. Apple, Tesla, Nvidia were looking pretty decent. I think. Oh, I'm yawning. I think Nvidia was the stronger of the three, though, if I remember correctly. Spy longs look better on the 15. Let's go check that out. There you go. I know I had the 15 on here. I think the only thing that's stopping me is because we're under the halfway point of the gap. But I really do like that we're still basically in this area and fighting today's open. I do like that because it gives pretty much the only chance bulls have left here. But this is what I said in the pre-market information too. Is it's really important because this is what makes liquidity. This is like crunching everybody, right? So when you finally get that move, it's not going to be some small move. You might actually get a really good size move that makes it to previous day, however, beyond it, right? Downside move could actually make it to that highlighted area. It's not just $1 away. So I agree. And yeah, the 15-minute does look a lot nicer. Indecisive candle, hammer, indecisive, holding as high or low, still holding as high or low. Might even be inside bar, but candle's not over yet. Yeah, it's definitely trying to hold for short-term buyers. We'll just see if it keeps grinding up like that. And system says we should go up from here. It's just the only thing holding us here is that level. But I agree. You're jumping on light calls here in 5 minutes, trying to see if SPY tests pre-market high again. Good looks, good looks. Just remember to check that gamma so you don't buy a shitty contract. Anything above 10, but I mean, in reality, the higher you go, the better. But it's also the pricier, of course. Man, my arm has so many cuts from Lily. You would think I was suicidal the way there's all these cuts on my arms. But it's just, no, it's just I got a puppy. I mean, there's so many. There's this one on my side, because I didn't have a shirt on one day, and she, like, got her claw on me. Oh, my God. You would think I was fighting a bear. It's just a little puppy. Actually, she's not little anymore. She's getting kind of heavy. She weighs like 19 pounds now. My little lion. High or low is still holding here on the 5-minute. Again, just kind of looking for any executions over the halfway point of the gap down. As well as this 644.40 level. I'm not meaning to not include that level. I just mean this area as a whole. I just think it makes it a little easier to look at. We don't need this purple line on here. I don't know why I keep leaving those when I explain things. Thanks, guys, for all the likes, by the way, in the stream. I do appreciate that. Oh, Alexis, make sure to peep the swing trade. Anybody in Lifetime, not just Alexis. I just meant to target Alexis, but definitely check those out. There's a couple posts in there from me. But also, I would definitely review any of Username's swing trade post. I'm not joking. He's had like 4 or 5 really, really, really big winners in that channel. And I think they're being slept up. Which, he's doing it for reps. He doesn't give a fuck who's watching, which, good for him. But there's definitely a lot of people in those channels that have access to that. So I really hope y'all are checking that, because he's been posting some really clean swings. Would that make sense? They're reasonable. And he's not posting like $10,000 setups or anything, you know. He's posting good, reasonable, costly contracts that aren't, you know, going to break your bank. But I would definitely check some of them out, even if you're not looking to just follow plays. Maybe you just want to get a good rep or review. I've been doing that. I've been reviewing every single thing you post because it's just really clean and helpful. But it'll help you also kind of focus more on the simple and the more effective stuff. But also, you might even find a ticker you might like, because there's a couple in there that I didn't trade super heavily that he's on. Had to cut that attempt. No, you're good. I figured you were. Yeah, he is a beast. I've been shorting since 8 yesterday. I'm tired, Grandpa. I'm tired. React. Good morning, dude. Good to see you. And I'm happy to see you kicking ass still. I figured you were going to sleep in a little bit, but I guess not. You're like, bro, I pulled an all-nighter shorting this move. Yeah, we're definitely still jump roping. Above today's open, wicking it a lot of times, but still under halfway point of the gap down, which isn't as much of effective as a level as like the halfway point of a previous day, but we're well above that too. Definitely an awkward open for the start of the week. We're an hour and 12 in. It's funny too, because there's a lot of moments where you could sit there and be like, dude, this is such a good setup though. Like, I really like this hold here. I just really indecisive candle that perfectly wicked the halfway point down. And then I was kind of liking that higher low for a second. And then now you have this hammer. It's like potentially setting up for seller. So there's just a lot of very quick change in seller signal and buyer signal on the 5 minute. Probably is a better day to watch your 10 or 15. I like to watch the 5 for stream because it actually like moves, but the 10 and 15 are probably a lot better time frame to be looking at right now. Five-minute is all wick, no body, yeah. Really, there's really only like one candle that has... there's a couple here, but that actually have some meat on the bone. I'm just going to enter a short right here, and I'm going to stop out if it gets above this area. I'm going to enter 642 at 0.28. 642 same day at 0.28. Are we flushing, chat? I don't know. I'm Delulu. It looks like it wants to. If that's what you're insinuating. Because indecisiveness, I said if I was trying to short this candle, but then it wicked as I was trying to enter, so I was like, all right, cancel that. But if it goes up and reject again, I'll definitely get in on that. Well, I like this rejection so far, so I'm just going to risk a super light entry. 642 is at 0.28. Honestly, my stop loss is probably a higher low actually holding today's open. A quick pop over it, I'm just going to stay in it. An actual hold over it, I'm going to get out. Oh. God, I'm like trying to stretch and speak at once. That was not smart. But this isn't like a super like normal entry either, so that's why we're light. Just because kind of feeling it out. It's Monday. Halle oh, hallelujah. Can you get copyright strike for singing a song? I'm gonna have to Google that. Yes, you can get copyright strike on YouTube for singing a copyrighted song, even if it's an a cappella cover. Really? Well, fuck. I gotta quit doing that. Sorry, you were caught singing Kendrick Lamar. Like, fuck. Copyright strike for sicko mode. All I ever wanted was your night, Gordon. Outside bar on the 15-minute good looks by Garden Trader 13. She's been doing a good job updating us about the 15. It is pretty important to look at this morning. Good morning, Carl. Good morning to you, beautiful. Bro, react. That's literally how I feel every time I see a Garden message too. I'm like, Garden! Always pointing out something that blows my brain apart. Even if it's like something that I should have seen. I'm just like, whoa, what the hell? Why didn't I see that? Now, Garden's always on it. Garden only types when something needs to be typed. That's just how it is around here. Is it a coincidence that Carl and React both popped in here at the same time? I'm going to check Financial Juice real quick, just because I haven't even checked it at all today. See if anything changed. Nope, just a lot of Fed speakers today. And Trump is greeting the South Korean president. That sounds cool. I like these two. Fed Logan speaks, Fed Williams speaks, and then it goes, Fed Barkin repeats comments. U.S. equity futures retreated as some of the euphoria around expectations of the Federal Reserve interest rate cuts eased, with concerns about tariffs and their impact on inflation and corporate profits back in focus. So if anybody wanted to know, they need to know market risk for the day. And then I like to check on briefing.com too, see if there's anything else on top of that that could be said. Hey, good morning, Dividend. Good to see you. And good morning, D-Touch. I'm kind of slow to check in Discord today. Moving the market. Modest profit taking. Why is my screen gray when it does that? There we go. Now I can post that as well. Yo, what's up, Dividend? Good to see you, dude. Carl. I only said that because I saw y'all were trading futures together. Or not together, but y'all were just trading them around the same time last night. And then I see y'all both pop up in here at the same time. I gotta check some weights or I'm gonna fall asleep here. Nvidia is still moving higher, which was kind of expected with how it opened. Or after it recovered after the open, sorry. AMD should follow with that recovery. We'll see, though, if that's going to happen. Microsoft, I do still like for upside. Apple, struggling still. It's been just kind of like popping a high and then sitting there. And then Meta was looking a lot better earlier, but not looking as hot now. So some weight shifted to be looking better, some weight shifted to looking worse. Not really seeing a unison move here. Eli Lilly, what the hell? Okay. Eli Lilly, that was a lot of red candles in a row. All right, back to SPY. And we'll see if this high or low holds or not, if I'll have to cut that trade. Right here, we're down $16, $18. We're really opening up a portal to hell in our account. Gotta love them futures. Yeah, I don't mind seeing y'all post that stuff. Maddie does it a lot too. There's a few people in chat. I always have a few people hit me up. They'll be like, yo, man, is it okay if I post this in chat? I'm like, dude, I don't care. Do what you want. Just don't bring other people's shit into my chat. You know, if you're doing you, do you. You ain't hurting chat. Plus, I just like seeing people work together in chat. Like seeing Carl and React work together is pretty crazy because Carl's from like a very early era in the chat, and then React is also from like a later on but also early era in the chat. So it's like watching two different older eras in my chat work together too. It was like seeing two superheroes meet up and like high five or something. If y'all ever see Maddie in chat, y'all should peep Maddie Ice as well. I don't think he's been as active with his own trading as much, but y'all should definitely check him out if you see him post. Maddie Ice is kind of nice with it. But yeah, thank you for posting that though, Carl. I do appreciate all that. I also just always appreciate the energy you bring. I love when people just keep things chill and vibey, focused on the right shit. I can't find another song to listen to now. Why did Love Sosa by Chief Keef pop up on my feed? What year am I in? How old is this? 2012. Holy God, I feel old. Get me off this. Rari's and Rovers. Damn, dude. It actually made me feel old reading that said 2012. 2012 is what I was about to say. 2012. That's funny. Damn, dude. We're getting old like Ace now. Yeah, I think Dr. J, I hate to say this, but I actually think Dr. J is right on this one for the day. And it does just kind of fall into our own strategies as well, knowing the... I'm cutting that trade. Wait, where is it? Oh, here it is. I was like, what the fuck? Where's my trade? I'll cut one and see what the other does first. Alright, so we lost $6 on one, and we're still in the other. And it is currently down $6. We're breaking the bank for this one. 120. What I was going to say, though, about Dr. J's post and how he's so correct. $1.26 range. This lulls us to sleep until later session. Surprises with some crazy move. I agree with that because the 3 phases of the day. I mean, 30 minutes from now, the first part of the day is over. And we didn't really move that much, though we did bounce between very notable levels. So I don't want anyone to sit here and be like, today's trading sucks. It's so ugly. You could say it's slow, but it's definitely not ugly. It's definitely been a very clear picture. Each bounce, each reversal, each retracement. It's all been pretty clean. Higher lows, lower highs, all that good stuff. But very slow. And stuck between a tight range like Dr. J posted. So this will probably lead into that second part of the day move like I talked. It's funny, too, because I just had that funny conversation with Elliot explaining why we even made that up. If you were in here earlier, I explained, like, you know, Leland and me trading at different times and just coming up with this. And the 3 phases of the day is a real thing. But that would be funny to see that happen on the day that we talked about that. Because this would be what I call a Leland day. If there's tight range in the first part of the day, but end of the lunchtime move, there's like really good movement. He doesn't do that anymore where he sleeps in and does that. I'm pretty sure he doesn't sleep at all anymore. But that's what motivated me to do that, because it was just like, it was too good to be true that someone could do that over and over and over and over and over and over again. But it's because there was a real science to it, or a real, like, methodology to it, I should say. It wasn't just random, you know, BS. Oh. Alright, looks like we'll be cutting that other contract as well. That one's down 10, so we lost $16. And those were the 642 strikes at 0.28. They're now 0.18. We were going to enter them if we saw this move come back up and reject, so we did. The only thing that didn't work out is, of course, the retake here. So, higher low still holding. We're back above today's open again. And right before, well, another 30 minutes or so, we'll be in the next part of the day with a lot of time ahead of us. So, there's still really good time for this to move. Also because we didn't evaporate any of the movement today. So we should still see some movement. Damn, that's our first loss on stream in like 12 streams. I haven't called that as heavily on the last week's stream, but the weeks before that, the 3 to 4 weeks of streams before that, we were like 11 for 11 or 12 for 12. That ended that streak. I was trying to not think about it too, because I wanted to keep like winning trades and not being wrong on stream, but that was ended. Though it was only a $16 loss, it was still a loss. It's about the fact, not the money. Oh, I'm not even reviewing it. I'm just reflecting on how well we've done, honestly. But that definitely got to me, because I was sitting there like, I have to take a trade. But that's just how it happens when you're on a streak. I did a really good job, not last week, but the week before, of not thinking about it. And we ended up taking like 4 or 5 trades that week and just did not miss. And every trade had some really good movement, too. It wasn't like we were taking pennies off the table every time. But I guess I'd rather my loss be that small compared to like losing a trade that also moves really well. So I guess we're on the right side of history there. No problem, though. We move forward. We just eat ramen tonight. That's how that works. You lose 16, you eat ramen. Chicken or beef? Water. We'll be having water and ramen. That's it. No meat. Lose 16 bucks. That's what you got to do. And then tomorrow we can trade again. And we'll have to possibly sleep outside. Turns front upside down. I love this shit. Chicken or beef, though? Legit question. I really don't have a right answer to that. I feel like I would eat either. I think I've eaten more of the chickens than I have the beef, but I would probably grab the beef. If gun to my head, beef. But they're equal in my head. I haven't had a ramen in a while, though. I had pho the other day. Pho is fucking amazing. Or pho. Pho or pho. Soy sauce flavor. Only soy sauce. No, you don't get it. Only soy sauce. Is anybody in here looking anything different? I don't want to just sit here and read off comments and there's someone actually trying to get something done in here. Is there anything that needs to be answered or talked about or anything like that? I always get questions in my DMs, so I always love to leave huge chunks in my stream for people to ask anything they want. I mean, you can pretty much ask at any point. Pho is your favorite top tier Asian? Dude, it is. It really is. Yeah, it's funny, too. I had a white person show me pho. It was a while ago. He was like, dude, this is... We were the only white people in this restaurant, too, because he took me to this one that was, like, actually insanely high-key, the best place ever. It was called Pho Bean. B-I-N-H. And, we went in there and, like, what he speaks a little bit, and he, like, told them what we wanted, and they brought it back, and I was like, oh, my God, bro. I was literally in heaven. There were people next to us, too, staring at us, because they're like, what the hell are they doing? But they could see how happy we were. We were just enjoying it so much. Pho Bean. God, I love it. No, pho is, like, is up there for me. Like, it's not like, oh, I'm going to a steak restaurant. It's not like that. It's more like, I'm going to a place that is going to fill me up, and I don't feel like a complete piece of trash after I'm done eating it. Like, you feel really good after you eat pho. Because it's not super, super heavy, and it feels really good. I don't know. It just tastes good. I fuck with it. Longs look better the more of this highlighted area they take over, by the way, to the upside. Right now, we've just seen struggle underneath it, but the more they bounce their head against it, and they have more higher lows to work with now here recently. We see from that recent dip we cut our losses on, actually. This could actually lead to a really good liquidity grab to the upside towards that previous day close, but we'll see. This is the best price action we've seen inside of this area since earlier. Dividends and triple Q calls. Good looks, dude. John Moss Jr. said, here's a dumb question. It's not a dumb question. So this is actually a fair question. Do you use SPY to trade SPX? If so, is your range like a 50-cent move? So in the past, I have plenty of videos that I have of me actually scalping SPX while staring at SPY, but you can't take longer trades, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not going to jump into a scalp if I'm staring at SPY on SPX, like take a SPX scalp while staring at SPY. I'm not going to jump into it and expect to hold it for 30 minutes or an hour. I'm going to try to get in and get out. When I'm doing that, I'm scalping. So you also got to pay attention to what people's use is. Like, when I'm doing it, I'm scalping. Who knows what you're trying to go for, what Billy Bob 123 is going for. Like, I don't know what everyone's going for, you know? So for scalps, yes, I do like that strat. Not really looking for large moves. You said about a 50 cent. I really don't pay attention to the cents, to be honest. I really am just more or less like, okay, did I get a higher low? Okay, I'm in. Bet. Let me get in. And then I get one good move from that. I'm like, all right, I'm out. I'm not really paying attention to the average size move of that, but I'm sure it's a little bit more than that. You're in triple Q and Spy. Okay, nice. But that wasn't a dumb question. But in all reality, though, you should just go look at SPX if you want to just keep it simple. I would only do that if you were like me and you just have looked at Spy so much that there's almost no point in looking away, because they are different charts. I hope you know that. As well as anybody else in here, I hope you all know that they are different charts. They are not perfectly accurate with each other. So just make sure we all know that too. But that was not a dumb question. That was actually a pretty fair question. I'll let you know if it's a dumb question would be like, Bueller, why don't we talk about another strategy in your chat? Like, that would be a stupid question. Because it's like, why would I focus on other people's work? You know? Which I don't know why other people can't seem to get that. Most of you get it, but it's weird. Does one lag over the other? No, it's just volatility. They're not going to move exactly the same. There's a lot more volatility in your SPX. Ah, that's a crazy point, Dr. J. I didn't even look at that. He said SPY made a new all-time high on Friday in normal hour session, while SPX didn't. Also, SPY has a dividend, which affects its price. In short, it's less volatile than SPX, but SPY and SPX are two completely different things. But you are able to look at one and trade the other. It's just, like I said, you should go for just scalps, not... Like, I've said this multiple times in my chat, but I genuinely think you can leave my chat right now if you're someone who swings SPX. Because I genuinely can't stand when I see someone post them like that. Because they'll post a winner of them winning SPX swing, but they won't show you the 10 losses of them trying to swing that before that were 10 times that win. And that's why I'd recommend, if you're going to trade SPX, to just scalp it. I do not recommend anybody taking longer trades or swing trades on SPX. But again, I can't tell you what to do. You do whatever the hell you want. I'm just some random guy online. I'm not trying to sit here and tell someone how something is done. But in my experience, that's what I would do. Yeah, and like A said, be a man, show your big losses. And I shit you not, when I traded SPX and I had that like month streak of just not losing, I shit you not, anyone else around me that was trading it were like every other day posting their gains, which made me wonder, in between those days, what the fuck were they doing? Because they were sitting there trading, but they weren't posting anything after. And you know how people are when they win. They want to show everybody, they want to show how great they are. So where's that energy when you lose a trade? That's the humbling that I want to see in my chat. If you're going to post these, very volatile trades, you also need to show us the ugly side of it too, not just the euphoric feeling of when you actually are right. I mean, I only lost $16 today, so I can't sit here and be like, look at my lot. Like, that's not really a good example. But a lot of the time on SPX, this is true. Someone who's posting gains are a lot of the time not posting the 10 times size losses of those. And there's a couple people in my chat who are really good at SPX, but they also just scalp it. You'll never see them swing it. You'll never see them hold it for 4 hours straight. Unless they just are throwing it into the wall and don't care about what they get back. But that's why I'm glad Ace said that, because I respect Ace a lot for doing that too. Like, he takes some bigger trades, but you'll never see him hide his like trades or his like results. Like, if he's sitting here bragging about how well he's been doing, he has a calendar to back it up. So he's not bragging, he's just actually just talking about his results, right? But that's how it can seem to some people. So we try to keep it not so malicious around here. But at the same time, I'm not trying to live in Narnia or some fairyland where everyone lies to each other and pretends to be friends. Like, I like this tight-knit community, and I'm going to take care of it, and a lot of the people in it want to take care of it because there's genuine maturity in here. If you go talk to somebody, it's probably a lot of the time talking to someone that's a little older than you or more experience. So it's just good to show that respect toward each other. Except to Ace. I don't have to show any respect to Ace. That guy sucks. Thank you, John Moss, for being here. Hope you have a good day. Ace, I knew your ass was typing that too. That's what I thought that message was. I thought it was you saying. I thought that's what you were saying already. You are welcome, John Moss Jr. Nah, we love Ace. I like to beat up on him, but he's pretty good. What you up to, Ace? Guys, finally seeing the best, like we said, some of the best price action we've seen all day in that highlighted area, and we're actually breaking it. Holy. We might actually get that move into the previous day close, maybe even the previous day highs. Who knows? But a lot of energy, a lot of liquidity built up with all this struggle bus under this highlighted area. So they definitely have the potential. No, you guys just get on at completely opposite times. Ace gets on like so early, and then Dividend gets on so late. And I've explained this to both of you. I'm not staying up that late anymore. And I'm not getting on a FPS game right after market close. That's just crazy. I know y'all are just tugging my chain, but I'm serious. Y'all play it like complete opposite times. But I wish we could too, because I like playing with y'all. I just wish we could play as a group, not just two of us. That'd be cool. Well, you know what I meant, Dividend. I guess technically you're correct on that. This dude be calling me at like 1 or 2 in the morning. Like, hey man, you want to play Counter-Strike? My ass been asleep for like 4 hours already. Yeah, if I'm ever not in stream because I stayed up late, just everybody can equally blame Dividend Bull. Because it is 99% his fault. 1% mine. Ace actually was up really late one night. What night was that? Was that like a week or 2 ago? He was up pretty late one night. And I was really shocked. And I was like, what the hell? Why isn't Dividend here? And then an hour later, you got on after work. No, I know. It's because of work. That's why I'm not complaining. I'm just saying what the truth is. That's why we haven't been playing. But I am glad you were at work and all that stuff and getting your shit done. Any new reveals at work with the high-low or anything like that? I know you've been just kind of doing your thing. But anything new? Anything cool? He says I'm complaining. I played one game solo the other day, but I got bored because it was solo. Been a wild week, I can say that. Oh god, there have been layoffs? Every time he always says stuff like that, I'm like, oh, who got fired? Who got fired? Make sure, guys, if you guys have been sitting here the whole time with me, to stand up, let the blood flow a little bit, go grab some water or something. Definitely not good to just sit there still for a couple hours. I'll be right back. I need to go grab something, but I'll be back in like 2 minutes. Bulls are breaking out, by the way, and they have been for a few minutes now. All right, I'm back. That might have been less than 2 minutes. No. Well, one person did. Forgot to time you. Oh. Yeah, yeah. You're supposed to spam the chat with a countdown. I'm supposed to come back to a chat full of numbers. Let's check some of these weights out, people. Spy is up 28%. Triple Q up 18%. No, good shit, dude. I know you're still in those. I just when you guys say you're in a play, I'm not gonna sit here and bug you, because that would piss me the fuck off. Like, if I'm clearly going, I'm in this trade, and then I still have someone in my ear going, what about this? What about that? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? That would piss me off. So you're not gonna see me do that to y'all. But I do appreciate you updating us on that. Good shit, Dividend. You were nervous on the overnight gap fib until we broke it. Yeah, but I wasn't even really thinking about that for you, because once we had like done this, because you got to think about it in order. This is why I say order of operations is the most important part of my entire strategy, because it really is. So like you got to think about this as like step one, right? This is step one. We opened lower, okay? So in our heads, we're like down, 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 down. As long as what, right? There's got to be a condition set, or we're just bearish forever till eternal, till forever. And then what's the point of that? We're wrong. That would be bad. So what's the condition? What keeps us saying, oh, it should keep going down? This area, right? Between the halfway point of the gap down and this level that we have set. So the fact that we held over this and this is like a grade zone. Like, we're just like neutral here until something else pops up, right? So we need to go in order. That's why I say always go left to right. And that's why I exited my shorts and was like, all right, this should go up next. Like, that should be what comes next on this chart. Because when we entered, we were thinking, oh, well, it already rejected this once and made a lower high under it. I'm not going to accurately draw that, but that's where we're at. And this is where we're like, okay, well, this is where the shorts have the best chance. Because they've already shown, okay, rejection, not just of the top level, but of the bottom level as well, and moved away from it. So in this moment, we're bearish. Until what? Until we see a hold of this. And this is why I said my stop loss is not a green candle appearing here. My stop loss here was going to be a hold and a retest of this. So if it retested like it did, and it was right after this candle we cut, because we saw how it was holding with this wick up, this now shows to me like, okay, the chart is now reversed into, okay, this should be going up until what? What is our condition set? Until we see any kind of loss of this area again, because they have now retaken control of this when they lost it earlier. So they lost it, no execution really had any, or no follow through, I should say, and then the retake. So even though they hadn't gotten back above that yet, you really shouldn't even have been scared of that yet, just because we've already proven that it should be going up right now based on order of operations. And that's why I go over that so much, because it really is important to understand what should come next so you know how to react and how to feel about something. Oh, okay, did this? Fuck, I should have done that. Instead of just making up a random reason for why you messed up or made a mistake. In this case, you're kicking its ass, you're in a winning trade, but in another day, you might be on the losing side of it. It's just good to have that understanding that there is a good wrong and a bad wrong. So if you're going to be wrong, be the good wrong. Like I was today. That was a good wrong. But there's plenty of times I'm sure I've been bad wrong, if that makes sense. But I hope that makes sense. And honestly, really good trade. What are you up right now? I don't mean to like disturb you, but we're next to a previous day close on SPY at least. SPY target gap fill / previous day close. Good shit, good shit. You were typing it as I was saying it. Good shit. 34%. That's really nice already. Be careful too, Rigney, just because you're in SPY and Triple Q. You don't really need to be in both, but I do respect it. I respect the size of your balls. Good shit though, dude. Very happy for you. Bro woke up, posted plays in YouTube chat, taking profit. Like, what a legend. Rigney was awake at like 1 or 2 in the morning. It's probably 2 or 3 his time. What time did you go to bed, Rigney? I'm calling him by his other alias. I was gonna in Triple Q regardless because of the daily. Oh, okay, okay. Plead the fifth. What time did you go to bed? Come on, bro. I know your ass is running on like a single digit, a single number. I would assume you have like 5 hours of sleep. Which means you went to bed very late. After 3:30? Yeah, here, let me check my Discord. What time did you call me? Because I check that shit every day. I just like... I know you know that I know. Oh, okay, wait. This one wasn't that bad. This was yesterday at 8:30. I don't know why I didn't see that one. Wait, what's the one from before? No, 11? Okay, never mind. Your last two actually weren't that bad. But you know what I meant. Oh, oh, wait, yeah. I didn't even check that. I'm over here, like, downing myself already. Wait, yeah. Your last message is at 2:30 my time, which is 3:30 your time. That's insane. Yeah, I didn't even get to reply yet because I was just focused on getting stream and shit. You're in the future, yeah. That's what we used to say about people that were in, like, Australia in here. We'd be like, damn, y'all are, like, in the future. Just because how many hours they're ahead. We'd be like, yo, bro, is today a green day? Excuse me. Well, that was a decent sized move if you count from where it started. Of course, if you just narrow it to what it did just above levels, it's not going to be that special, but this was a decently special move for what we've seen so far today. Also, did everyone that was listening understand the whole order of operations of that too? I'm not like trying to speak like this is easy to see. It's like a lot easier to talk about, of course, because we experienced it already. You and me were already in the moment of feeling all of this out, so it's a little easier for you and me to review because we've seen it. But for someone who didn't see all of this as it was happening, it is like, oh, he's just being an after review Andy. But in reality, we did experience all that, so it is nice to review it in a sense of making sense of things while setting conditions, right? So if like I'm gonna say I'm bearish, it's like, okay, why are you bearish and from where? I need a reason. I need a condition set for why you're gonna stay bearish. Therefore, if that condition is ever broken or reversed upon, it's not even just, oh, I'm wrong. It's like, oh, this might even be bullish. You know, it might even be the opposite direction. Dividend. What did Maddie type? Am I missing messages in here? Where was the previous day control point for this chart? I didn't even draw it for triple Q. They didn't even touch it. I don't know why I do that. I could literally just draw the fib and leave it, because it helps draw previous day low and high as well, and future targets, but I just don't like having all those extra levels. They never even broke PDCP. The power of PDCP. I won't lie, this is pretty clean right here too. If you zoom in, well, that makes it look like shit. See how like these three are like squeezing into each other? It's like inside bar of this, inside bar of this. Then this candle finally breaks the trend a little bit, and it becomes a bullish hammer. Then you get another hammer. Then you actually get a follow through that closes a good high. So you have some really good early consolidation info on the tech chart. But then again, I was saying that too about Apple and a couple of the tech charts, just going through them individually, because it was like Apple shot up instantly. You go to Nvidia, it took a second, but it shot up after holding the only other notable level we have in that area. I mean, you could see I don't have a million levels on my screen. It went down and held the only level we have in this area. AMD did get a bounce back, but not a huge weight. Again, we're just kind of talking about big tech weights. Tesla kicking ass still to this moment. The Googs caught up too, so Triple Q makes sense. Triple Q makes sense. Tech definitely was the heavier upside momentum today. And all of us need to understand that, because that means the rest of the market didn't. If it was just tech, which is a good sign, but if we can get a follow through or have a more unison approach to the upside momentum, it could have been a lot more powerful, right? We're at 645. That's not really anything that special. Like, it's not that much movement after all that consolidation. So I think there's still a lot left in the tank. And if it doesn't happen today, it's going to happen some point this week, because there's a lot of movement sitting on this chart still. You're out, Spy. Good shit, Dividend. Round of applause for Dividend. Thank you for the call-outs as well, dude. Making it easy. Bro's on like 4 hours of sleep. Also, we don't get to have Dividend in as many of these streams because he has late shift. So, he's not always going to be here. But do appreciate that dividend. I enjoy it. I'll say this much: Dividend's better at trading than he is at Counter Strike. I'm just messing with you. First shift blows, second shift we get shit done. Dude, I really wish I would have marked. I need to show y'all this. Okay, so there's this thing right here. Oh, right here. I can add a stream marker to remind myself, like, oh, yo, I was talking about something important here. And then later on, I can, like, clip it. I keep forgetting to click that stupid thing. Like, when I covered Order of Operations, I now have to go through the entire stream and remember where the hell I was talking about it. I really am so bad at that. I wish they would just move the button or make it bigger or something. IWM, on the other hand, see, it kind of adds to my argument that Tech was the better momentum today. Your smaller caps did no help. If anything, they rejected and look like they're going to keep heading down. Hey, you, clip here and go give me Chick-fil-A. Oh, my God. Dude, I would call them an angel if I had someone like that. No, I just suck at, like, in the moment organization. Like, afterwards, I'll be the most organized ever. But, like, in the moment, it's like I suck at it. Because I'm not thinking about it. I'm thinking about you guys or what I should be talking about or what I should be looking at. Trying to be more active in my thinking, but I do not think about that at all. Even when even when I did it though today, it's really funny too because I know y'all can't like see it, but in my head, I would literally sit there and tell myself like, "Yo, that was a good conversation. Let me clip that later," and I still won't be like, "Oh, let me go add that highlight summary thing," so I can remind myself, "What? Back to school savings." But yeah, so I don't know. I just suck at doing it. Linwood with the hot ideas. Out Triple Q. Good job, Dividend. Dude, Nvidia's a beast today. I really like that dip and rip it did today too. I mean, this right here was what I remember the most. I mean, this was so freaking clean. Set up the chart for a chance at having really good highs, and then they took advantage. I almost promised from here to here, that's holding a halfway point. So there's a midterm retest under a level. And then they break the level, hold it with a single candle retest. Almost promise that's holding 50% from that low to that high. So it's like a single candle it's like two single candle retests mixed together. And then they just went up. That's all they had to do after that. Not much thinking. That was a clean setup. I wish we were looking at that one more today. Still, though, good to reflect in case we see it again. Because that early setup was definitely memorable. Those first, like, 20-25 minutes on that chart was like, okay, this is going to go up. That's what it felt like, at least. Tesla, too. I think Tesla was another one that was, like, not as ideal, but it definitely did its job. And it's kind of cool going back. I was only charting that higher up target because I was like, all right, well, there's got to be something else here. It looks like it's heading up towards it now. That's a super clean chart, Nvidia and Tesla. If anybody wants to go look at those as well. Oh, whoops, I almost pushed that in the wrong channel. It's funny, I post AMD and Nvidia does this. That was a really, really clean move, though. I mean, the last couple days on this has been really nice. Tesla, we look at that. AMD. A lot of movement, not a lot of single directional movement. Kind of all over the place on that one. But they look like they're rejecting just not a good part of the day. Eli Lilly fell off a cliff and they did not recover. Where is that on the daily? Oh, that's bad for them. What did I draw that for? This has to be from a bigger time frame. Oh god, it's probably just like a lot of consolidation I drew. Okay, no, it's this. It's the demand of this low. We're rejecting the demand. That can be horrible for Eli Lilly. Is this about to be the next UNH? I mean, I'm not even trying to fearmonger here. This looks like shit. And that's of long-term price action. I didn't even draw any short-term price action. Because normally you'd go from high to low. It did reject the 50. And then you go from the high to the low. It's at the 50. Okay, that's a decent sign. I'm rejecting the 50% of the gap, though. That's a weird one. It looks really, really bad on a lot of time frames, though. For downside. I say bad, I mean bearish. We might have to keep Eli Lilly on watch, my people. That's an interesting one. Jesus, Starbucks. What happened to them? That looks bad short term as well. There's Oklo. McDonald's looks exhausted. McDonald's could be a good short swing too. I don't even have EMAs on, but it just looks like it. Where is the high of all this? Okay, so it's that candle. What is 50% of that? Way down there. Okay, that's not what we want. That's way too high. I guess it is that candle. I was going to draw that initially, but just want to see if there's something better. This could be a good watch, too. Multiple exhausted candles in a row can lead to a pretty easy short swing. Damn, Nike said, screw the rest of the economy. I'm going up. That was a stock pick I wish I would have went heavier on. But can't get everything, can ya? I really, really, really like this one. I'd say this is probably one of my favorite 3 long terms. Mainly because it's not such a big name. But I love that. But it's connected to big names. That's a crazy one. Is SPY trying to hold a higher low, or what's going on here? Do we have any questions or anything, comments or anything? You're up 11% on Tesla long-term position and 37% on MSOS. Dude, nice. That's definitely nice. 37% on a long-term play is not bad so far. How long ago did you get in that? Or have you been in it for a while and you've just been DCAing? Which that would also be very cool. Got in at the start or before this month, recently added cause news. Oh, okay. Well, looks like it did well for you so far. Cross his fingers. Oh, I didn't even check Bitcoin to see if they started moving back up or not yet. I did like the coin chart. I'll be honest. Coin looks like it wants to go back up, but that doesn't reflect Bitcoin, sadly. Yeah, I didn't even have levels up here. Which I guess if I did, I'd have to draw them from there. From here to whatever that is. Damn, the third fib extension's at 140k. So yeah, it looks like it's super, super, super crucial to hold between about 110k to 112k on Bitcoin. And if it can hold that area, should trend back up towards 120s. Maybe 118s is a fair number to say first, then 120s. It's crazy saying these numbers out loud. I'm still not getting used to that. You back in college buying Bitcoin at 9k? Yeah. Honestly, the one I thought about was Dogecoin. I don't have any crypto anymore, but I used to have a lot of Dogecoin when I was young. Because that was the one that I thought was the meme back in and it kind of was. But that was when it was like 0.000, then a number. Like it was at the fourth decimal point. Like you could get like 1,000,000 coins for like $1,000. And I went and looked at the price and it's 0.22 cents. I was like, oh my God. That's like, what's that math? That's like $220,000 on the table that I don't have. That's my biggest trade that's on the table is Dogecoin. I always think about it, but not in like a negative way. Now I think about it now as like a holy shit, that was possible. Like if I could do that, I could do it again. So just got to be on the right stocks or on the right picks. And actually have the conviction to stay in them. You remember hearing Bitcoin about Bitcoin when it was under like $50 and thought it was the biggest joke / scam ever? Yeah, it's pretty insane. And I'm sure a lot of you have similar stories to mine. I'm not trying to sit here and play like the pity party bullshit. I know my story's nothing special. There's plenty out there. My goal was to own a full Bitcoin, then 2, but college got expensive and I sold a few grand I had in. Oh my God. That's a pretty wild story, actually. So now I get fucking pissed when people update the Bitcoin price. Solana and XLM. Oh. I do have some Sol Linwood I got at stake too and get 7% a year on it. Damn. And you have Robinhood receipts. Yeah, the Robinhood receipts hurt the most. When you're like, damn, I was buying this at that price? Holy. Peeps updated price in today's market. Cries self to sleep. Eats crying for dinner. When you eat in tears for dinner and falling asleep. Sad as fuck. Then you wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is you check prices and shit. Traders are abusive, man. High or low holding for SPY. I know I haven't done that many updates. I just kind of been looking at whatever. High or low holding for SPY, though, over the halfway point of the gap down. So that does make the chart a little bit more bullish as long as it holds it. Right now it's still holding. Oh, you have it staked as well? Y'all are legends. Bitcoin used to be a tournament price. Used to be a tournament prices. There's a famous 2011 example from a StarCraft competition where fourth place got $100 cash, fifth to eighth got 25 Bitcoin. Dear God. I know most gamers, though. Most gamers are spending that on food or fucking weed. I know that 99%. That is crazy, dude. Yeah, see, sometimes it's good to reflect. Sometimes it's not good to reflect. Yeah. A lot of Bitcoin billionaires had Bitcoin to buy drugs on the dark web. I always heard people talk about that, but I never got into it. I never even wanted to get into that. But I had a couple people talk about that, like they were doing it all the time. It's like, that sounds sketchy. I just like things that pay dividends. No, that is very cool. I always thought staking was super cool if it was actually like gonna be legit, but it's been a while since it came out, so it seems to be working. I know some people are like haters of it, but as tough as I am on crypto, I thought staking was like one of the coolest things I've ever done. It's no different than what banks do. XRP MasterCard. Out SPY calls 1%. Good try, dividend. Quit gaming and grow a garden. You can grow a garden in games. No, I'm kidding. There's actually a lot of really good gardening games, dude. Give us PDC, por favor. Alexis wants previous day close, Spy. Didn't you hear him? Maybe you gotta say it louder, Alexis. Can't smoke it, though. Oh. These are fair points made. These are fair points made. Alexis, are you yelling it? I don't hear it across the entire country. Animal Crossing? I was thinking more like Stardew Valley. Or, I don't play it, but there's a lot of people who have played, like, Farming Simulator. It's a pretty popular game. Also, I was looking into some gaming numbers, and I'm a little fucking impressed by how dumb people are these days. So, and I know that's crazy to say, but hear me out. So, games have constantly gone up in prices. From 60 used to be a norm. Now it's like 70, 80, 90 for different packages of games. But 2K just released this thing that's like $150 for the bundle, and it's the number 2 sold like pre-order item on EA app right now. It might even be lower right now, but it was number 2, which is in fucking insane. $150 pre-order. And the main reason is because that kind of game doesn't really have competition unless you're on PC. But a lot of people who play those games aren't on PC. But in fucking insane, $150 pre-order for a game, and it's actually popular. It's actually blowing up. It's insane. Like I actually think you have to be on some sort of like fentanyl to be even making those kinds of decisions. That's just insane to me. Yeah, and PS5s are going up in price. That is also true. You're right about that. Stuck at the gas station waiting for the pump. Man, React, push them out of the way. I thought the prices were being kept relatively stable because they started making money from in-game purchases. Dude, you'd think. You would freaking think. You would actually think that they would take advantage of profits made. No, they don't. They're just as bad as any normal consumer, dude. These large companies are just as bad as any individual person with, like, their money. It's actually horrible. But yeah, that blew my mind when I saw that $150 pre-order for a basketball game. That it's basically just an updated graphics, updated rosters. That's it. Insane. These people have no shame. That's why I hope Battlefield 6 does really well. It looks like it is going to go the way that I was thinking. Because COD is in fucking insane with the prices they're doing. I just feel bad for the gaming market, really. Because everyone's choosing between two evils right now. There's not really a good... There's not really a good developer right now besides, like, a couple that release games every couple of years, you know? But there's a lot of them out there that are releasing games, like, every year, and they're just shitting on people. And then when the new game comes out, a lot of the things go wrong with the old games. So it's like, you basically just lost all your money. You don't really even own the game. I think original Nintendo games were sold due around $50, with inflation probably over $100 today. Yeah, they are pretty pricey because I haven't bought a game for my Switch in like probably 2 years, but I remember even then they were kind of, it was like buying a full on game. And you got to remember, like, a lot of the time when you're buying a game, you're downloading the digital version. So you almost, these days, most games are not hard copy. Like, you don't own the game. So whenever the game goes extinct or like the next game comes out, that one starts dying. Their servers get worse. There's more hacking involved. There's more this. There's more that. It's just horrible. Bring back Atari. Yeah. Honestly, it's funny you say that because my mom was just talking to me the other day about. My uncle's not alive, but he used to play Atari like crazy. And she was talking about that with me yesterday. It's funny you say that. He let us play it a bunch too. It was pretty fun. Kind of put us on. Got to play Atari, Nintendo 64, GameCube. And then the big boys came out. Nintendo is still kind of legit. Like, I wish Nintendo didn't flop so hard on their Nintendo Switch 2. Because now it kind of makes me never want to touch another Nintendo thing ever again. But they flopped on that in Mario Kart World. From what I saw. That's why I didn't even get it early, because I was kind of sketched out. But, yeah, Mario Kart World and Nintendo is kind of like... I mean, they're still making a lot of money, don't get me wrong, but they definitely flopped on their latest releases. And then you got, like, first-person shooter players, which is a majority of gamers these days. Choosing between, like, 3 types of games now. And all of them are kind of, like, just failing. Yeah, the Stop Killing Games movement, I'm very aware of it. I've been following all the drama on that. It's been really funny watching all that stuff, because I was aware of it before the Pirate Software stuff, too, because there was a couple of YouTubers that I watched that talked about it, and then I got to that nerdier guy's video, the guy that runs Stop Killing Games, and then the Pirate Software stuff blew up, and it made it, like, everyone is aware of it now. Because, yeah, he, like, hurt and then helped the initiative, all inadvertently. Just because he didn't understand anything that he's reading, because he sucks at socializing. Oh yeah, Arc Raiders actually is a title I've seen a lot of like positive hype for. I don't even know what it is. I'm gonna look it up. I have actually, I swear I've seen like 8 different videos and they've all talked about it. Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about that actually. Looks like this is the year of BF6 and Arc Raiders, and then whenever GTA comes out, that's when every game falls. Like that looks like what's gonna happen here short term. But yeah, the Stop Killing Games movement's pretty big. So good, I was lucky to get to play test it. Oh wow, really? How was it? What kind of game is it? Or what's like the basics of it? Arc Raiders. Multiplayer extraction adventure set in a lethal future Earth ravaged by a mysterious mechanized threat known as Ark. Oh, that's fucking awesome. Sounds like a way cooler Destiny. Unreal Engine 5, okay. That sounds pretty legit. How much is Arc Raiders going to be when it's released? I don't know why it's not showing me that here. Third-person extraction shooter, NASA punk, amazing gunplay mechanics and sound design. Oh, all the good things we love. Yeah, I would say sound design is pretty big in like every game these days. Like not like it needs to be good to be big in these days. Like thank God Battlefield didn't lose that. 40 or 60? Oh, okay, that's not horrible. It looks like one of those titles that could release and be like $80. That's why I was asking, but that's pretty cool. I have heard a lot about it. I just didn't I haven't clicked on any content 100% regarding it. It's just like people mention it when they bring up different things. Because everyone's right now is talking about Battlefield 6 versus COD and how COD's going to die off after this because they said they were too big to fail. And now that all that Activision software, or Activision Blizzard, I guess is what they're called now. They said they were too big to fail. They said that, and then the trailers dropped, and they have gotten nothing but hate on their latest content and reveals and all that stuff. And now a lot of that player base is moving to Battlefield, and that's why Battlefield's numbers are so crazy. They had literally like over almost 500,000 people, or over 500,000 people on a beta. The game itself was hard as fuck to access too. Like when you loaded it, there were so many bugs just to load into it. So that means over 500k people were playing it, and that was with all of the bullshit they had to get through. Like that actually amazed me, because I know, because I had to go through it. You had to like change your BIOS and everything, and it was insane. So I think Battlefield's gonna destroy COD this year, but I think no matter what, when GTA comes out, every game is gonna be shaking in their boots, because that is probably the most awaited game in the history of games. I mean, let's just be honest here. Proximity chat? Wait, Arc Raiders has proximity chat? That is insane. Wait, while you're looting, you could like proximity chat and like scare the hell out of somebody, or like that's pretty cool. That's like Escape from Tarkov type vibes. Damn. That's funny. That's cool. I know the EFT community needs a game like that pretty bad. They've been going through hell longer than most of us. I've always felt for the EFT community. You know, all these COD, they get games every year. Battlefield, it comes out every couple years. But EFT games don't come out every couple years. Like, games like that. The looting, or it's actually good. It's pretty crazy. I actually have a gaming server that's connected to Bueller Buys. It just only people who play games can like reach out. So if you are interested in joining it, just ask. I'll link it to you. There's a few people in there though already that are. It's just people from Bueller Buys though. It's got a little Last of Us vibe too. Also, damn. Okay, I don't mind that at all. The robot part of it, the Ark part of it though, reminds me of this like really small game that I used to play, where like you were dropped on this island and like these robots broke out. They were like taking over the island, and you had to like, I don't even remember the name of the game. It was so stupid, but it kind of reminded me of that a little bit when I was reading the thing, because it said there were like, I don't know. I guess that's what we're fighting, or what you're fighting. Besides other people, I'm assuming. Either way, that's super cool. Alexis, we did not get the PDC yet. I'm still watching it with you, but it didn't hit it yet. And guys, we're getting towards the end of the stream. I'm still going to cheer for a little bit, so we can just still hang out. But if anybody has any questions or anything that needs to be covered, like right now is the time to do it. Earlier we covered order of operations. I need to take the time to go back into the stream and find where the hell that is so I can clip it. Because that was probably one of the most important conversations we've had in a while. Anytime order of operations is brought up, it's the most important topic because it just is that crucial. So if anybody in here doesn't understand that, you need to ask or reach out like, hey, what videos can I watch, or pay attention in the streams, or ask where can you go, or just ask anything really. But order of operations is very, very, very crucial. If you go to the YouTube channel. Oops. There's part 1 and part 2. I would definitely check out both. Modest profit taking following Friday's record setting rally. Intel confirmed U.S. government will take a 10% stake in the company. Market anticipates Nvidia's earnings report Wednesday after the close. A rally that put equities on the verge of all-time highs sputtered and bond yields rose as elation around Fed cuts abated ahead of, I thought they said the same word twice, of key PCE data, which, again, we talked about that earlier. I'll just pull it up. Relatively light news this week with PCE on Friday. It's very, very important. This is a fancy way of saying how much stuff people are buying and how much prices are changing. If PCE goes up, then things are getting more expensive, which is inflation. And if things cool down, prices aren't rising as fast, which is a better sign for the Fed, because they check this like a thermometer for our economy. They check this, and yeah, then they'll use this to make a change on the interest rate or not, which this isn't the only thing that goes into account. It's just one of the important things. So that has an effect on the market in the short term. I've always said PCE is basically just the Fed CPI. It's just more important. I'm sure a lot of people have said that too, because there's like a nickname for it, but I don't ever remember it. I just always call it the Fed CPI. But if we don't have any questions or anything, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream there. I do appreciate everybody tuning in, dropping a like on the stream, sharing it around if you did, and engaging in the community, just engaging in conversation. So I appreciate the updates. Dividend, huge call-outs by you today. I think that was it. Yeah, I'll see you guys later on. Have a great rest of your day. If you guys have any other thing, bring it into the Discord. Share your charts, share your updates, share whatever you have. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.